Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2, and last time we had another successful run going down with the aspect of Supai, the hidden aspect on the torches, and it seemed weird and gimmicky the first time that we used this weapon, but last time, it was crazy powerful, arguably one of our strongest runs ever. As for what we have planned this time around, the bonus bones weapon would be Black Coat. And then, theoretically speaking, I think if we do aspect of Selene, there is still something that we have yet to do prophecy-wise. We still have not yet gotten the duo boon for this hex. And I believe that is in large part because, well, we haven't used this weapon and therefore this hex very often. And then it needs to be combined with, I believe it's Apollo. So, given how I don't think we're gonna throw on any fear for this run. We're just gonna keep it simple, try to check off another successful run toward the new true ending. Can we get this Lance of Ares along the way? Because I think we have tried on one or two prior occasions, but we've generally either gone with the Fate's Whim. I guess technically if we use Fate's Whim at the beginning with the likes of the Jeweled Palm, we could still, after the fact, throw on the Sword Hilt, and it would mean we might not be able to use the Calling card, but could go floor 1, floor 2, floor 3 if we really wanted to. Obviously, we'd have to pass on at least one keepsake that we do typically like using in that case, but as long as we remember, then that could still work. And of course, there's always the chance that we just happen to find a random Ares showing up, and that would be great, but maybe we can still go no rerolls here and then just commit to, if necessary, using the sword hilt later on in the run. So that's what I'm thinking we go for here. And then familiar-wise, I'm not really sure it makes a huge difference. So I thought I remembered not being the biggest fan of this hex, to be honest. It is not great in terms of pure damage. So, although I think it does give you bonus damage for your charge-up moves once you use it, potentially, and so maybe having more magic so we can use those charge-up moves more aggressively could make some sense, so maybe we'll take Hecuba for that reason. Let's just double-check.
If I'm to serve the night, I would
No fear active at the moment, theoretically, on the torches. If we were to go... Oh, I was looking at the staff for a second there. Oh, it'd have to be Typhon anyway, so yeah. That's not really relevant here. Might as well go no fear after all. Okay. So we want to see Ares. If we have to force that into existence, then so be it. But the free boon that we got is the one that gives our dash some extra damage and also pretty large area of effect, if I remember correctly. Demeter is the first one we'll get here.
You bested Kronos again, didn't you, Flower? We always knew he could be beaten. I once saw to it myself. But can he be destroyed? The Witch of the Crossroads must know.
This ties into conversations we were having last time round about, are we going to see more new things with the build-up toward the neutral ending? And it seemed like it. And we got even a very meaningful conversation, if I remember correctly, with Hecate in the Crossroads that I don't think we had seen in the original true ending. So maybe Demeter is alluding to more of that in the near future. That'd be great to get just a little more of it, but already have seen some improvements there. Let's see. So, is there any particular type of skill we want to prioritize here other than just generally spending magic? And this would help on that front, but it's just common rarity, which is a bit unfortunate. I am a big fan of both of these just from the utility of the freeze. I do like the cast a lot, so maybe I'll go with that. And if we want, we can lean on that dash quite a bit. Okay, at least at the beginning. As time goes on, it will not be doing that much damage in the grand scheme of things, at least for now. By floor 1 standards, it's not bad.
There it is.
Nab this, nab that, nab this, and I think we probably do want to take Selene here, because technically there is the chance we could see Ares and yet still not get the duo boom because we don't have enough points in the hex. Technically, it doesn't benefit from the keepsake we have on at the moment, but nor does the extra gold, at least not directly, of course. Could very well lead to picking up more boons in a future shop. But given how we're going no fear on this run, as we were talking about in some of our recent runs, maybe this is an opportunity to get a little more aggressive with some either higher risk things outside of the fear itself, or taking suboptimal upgrades just for the sake of completing prophecies or other things along those lines.
I draw you down, O moon. Lend me your light.
Behold the aspect of Godsent that I once wielded, little star. Perhaps shall wield again some other age. Back then, my light was widely feared, until a subtler approach worked best for me. But you need not hold back.
I don't remember if Selene made comments about us using her aspect in the past. I have to imagine she probably did, because this is obviously not the first time we've done it. And I admittedly don't know much about Selene's mythology, so she's implying here that once upon a time she was, maybe cruel is a strong word, but she was, what'd she say, feared? Something along those lines? Yeah, feared. So she seems very nice, very calm, perhaps one of the nicest and calmest of all the various people who have helped us along the way in Hades too, but maybe that's not all that representative of what she's like in the mythology. Okay, so if we are to see the duo boon later on, we know it will likely form in the middle. However, I don't actually know how it's going to connect. Is it going to branch off from one of these guys, in which case we have a choice as to which side we approach it from, or is it going to connect here? I think either way, well, let's take a look at what we have, I suppose. Yeah, so basically make enemies take more damage from charge-up moves. That already exists to a certain extent, but we can upgrade it further. Have it charge up automatically, have it do more power, and also we're close to this, extra damage against bosses. Take less damage while it's going. It does potentially last for a long time, especially if we extend the duration of it, which is probably something we could do, like this. Power. And this does synergize well with this one. Them being all on the same side is kind of nice. And then strikes +2 foes each time. Whenever you use charge moves, one random nearby foe struck by the effect of your hex. Okay. I mean, we could attempt to turn this into a very hex-oriented run. It's been a little while since we last did that. Maybe in part because we've been focusing so much on the Jeweled Palm and the, to a lesser extent, the other rarity boosting Fate's Whim keepsake. And it used to be that Selene's keepsake was a staple for us. Less so nowadays, but maybe we can still squeeze it in here, even if we're, we were talking about maybe wanting to get Apollo, or not, Ares, I should say. Force Ares into making an appearance. Okay, we only have one boon that can be upgraded here. And I don't know that the damage is that much of a difference maker on that. Mini shops. Sacrifice boon right now, as soon as possible, means there's only one thing it would be for, and that is this cast. Technically speaking, it is a way to force someone other than Demeter to show up, but I do like Demeter's cast for the utility, and I don't think that's really going to make that much of a difference with making Ares show up. I think we just pass on that side. Excuse me. Chaos. Interesting. There we go. Okay, it's a little later than we would like to see Chaos showing up. We'd have to skip a mini-boss, which theoretically would have higher rarity. Neither one is the particular god or goddess that we really want. Is it, again, Ares? If we saw Ares, I would probably skip Chaos here. I probably will go Chaos now. We are definitely light on the boons. This is technically a boon, I suppose, but obviously of a different sort.
Dig, please, Hecuba.
That gives us a little bit of healing as well, which is kind of nice. Okay, these cannot get upgraded in terms of level, right? So these are not going to benefit from the palm. Man, that'd be kind of crazy if they could.
Being sent you their blessings and their messages, having some limited awareness of your circumstances and your whereabouts. so shall it be with me whilst you are here.
Okay, let's see. So this very well may be active during the Hecate fight, so do need to be wary of that. Each time we use charge moves, we take damage. Afterward, we gain a somewhat significant amount of magic, although since we took Hecuba, we already began with a lot of magic, and we also got a little bit of the gathering resources, or rather the, whichever one of the crafting resources it is that gives us a small boost to our magic. Channel your charge moves faster would be nice long term to set up the Hex and also benefit from the Shine more. So both of these are beneficial in a way. I feel like it's a little bit easier to avoid the charge moves temporarily than it is to avoid the special temporarily. Take more damage for 5 encounters, definitely going to be active for the boss fight. Afterward, we gain more magic. In a vacuum, this would probably be the one that I would take, especially this early on. That is really good timing. But given what we're trying to do here, I guess I'll take this. It's no special. Mini boss, not for the person we're looking for. Shop, obviously this is free, this costs money, but we might see Ares in this case, so gonna go for it. Get some of this while we're at it.
Thank the fates.
Oh, okay. If you want to steal the magic, that's fine with me. Ooh, I do really like this. That also can be really good long term, although short term, not fantastic. Because we have very few boons right now. This is, of course, higher rarity. I mean, both of these are some of my favorite boons of his. So, maybe that, I mean, long term, that can be incredible. No! I don't remember which one this was, but I was hoping you were going to take this because you were standing right next to it. And I was okay with that. I don't remember if that was any good. It might have just been healing, which obviously we didn't need. Have to wind back the clock to check. Okay, we are also seeing a few of these palms now, and still, this is the only thing that can be upgraded, because this is not level upable. Nor is this. So, alright. We're gonna have to turn the cast into a damaging skill at this rate. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe it is good at doing damage, pure damage, when it's leveled up this much. I usually don't think of it that way, in part perhaps because that's just my personal style, because I use it as setup, and then use something else to be the damage dealer, but
I accept this gift.
at this many levels, and this is a way to give it another level, I'm kind of tempted at this point. Then if we were to see a sacrifice boon, of course, it would upgrade the rarity and level of it, and at this point, that would be kind of tempting, just to see how strong we could make what would be potentially more of a damage-oriented cast, or at least what I would usually consider to be more of a damage-oriented cast. Otherwise, we get bones, which is nice, but I think we'll take this. I'm intrigued.
The woods answer my call.
Whoop, don't stand there. Excuse me. Let's throw this out here while we're at it.
Call will take you.
1 second, I saw this. Alright, that gets leveled up even more. Then Arachne, we saw out of the corner of our eye, is also someone who we had a conversation with last time that seemed to suggest we might still be able to make progress on her subplot line, even though we had to turn back the clock for the new true ending. So that's pretty tempting. Okay, let's do it. It doesn't count as an encounter, which means it's going to take a little bit longer for the Chaos Boon to evolve, but so be it.
Go, Hecuba.
Okay.
Arachne, I wasn't entirely forthright with you before about your curse. Theoretically, there is a way that it can be undone, but it is unlikely to work and shall be very dangerous.
Oh, okay. This is the conversation we want to be having.
What? I don't care what it takes. You have to tell me, my friend, please.
First, we must discover the source of the curse. Athena is no enchantress. Someone
Oh.
aided her. And second, Athena herself must change her original intent. She has to want this.
Okay, now of course I'm immediately speculating as to who it might have been. I'm pretty sure that Cersei is pretty highly associated, highly affiliated with people changing forms and whatnot, but she seems so innocent with at least her demeanor, her behavior, but I think that might fool you from, in her case, the mythology is not so innocent, I don't think. Whereas Medea, I don't know as much about her. I know basically nothing about her from a mythology standpoint. However, in-game, she seems a lot more cynical and a lot more like the type of person who would curse someone into being a spider. So, those are the two you would think, at least off the top of my head, those are the two that come to mind, because I don't know of anyone else who is an actual magical enchantress, unless there's someone entirely different who we haven't even seen yet, but I doubt that would be the case.
But she despises me. And why would she tell anybody who provided her the curse? Oh, my friend, I almost wish you hadn't told me. Don't bother. Hope can be such a tease.
Oh. Of course, we have already attempted to get Athena to make an appearance on this floor, which does require some setup, specifically with the intention of progressing this conversation, although maybe that was preemptive. And in the future, I don't know if we can progress this plotline further just by speaking to Arachne, or if the next step will actually come from Athena, or maybe Medea or Cersei. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have Cass deal more damage. Our Cass is our primary damage dealer right now, so that is nice. This one technically is synergistic with using charge-up moves, so long-term that could be good, of course. In all likelihood, anything we take here is just temporary. This is obviously the highest upside one. We have made it all the way to the final boss fight with this before for that achievement, and it was great, but it did require a fair bit of setup to make that happen, and I'm not necessarily sure that I'm looking to commit to that right now. So let's keep it simple. We'll go with this.
Of course.
Thanks, Arachne.
Oh, I didn't even notice this guy. We went right
Let me
next to him
show
as
you
well.
the way.
It's a very slow one. There are so few. Messes with the rhythm.
Rest easy now.
Okay. So... Oh, Arachne even has something to say about it? Alright, so we have done at least some things to improve our magic, as I was saying. Technically, we already got a lot from Hecuba. Maybe there is still something to be said for getting more to support further charge-up moves, but in a vacuum, I would typically prioritize this. And if we can get a magic restoration boon, I think we're going to be pretty much fine. Oh,
There they are.
okay.
You're just in time.
That works. I completely whiff. Oh. I saw she was aiming for that one, obviously, but I was kind of tempted specifically to attack it just to mess with her. Oh. So I remember last time she made some comment about how she seemingly wasn't able to contribute much. Likely because we, not even intentionally, but one way or another, ended up stealing a bunch of her kills. Yeah, if you insist. Oh, I do. I am taking some damage in the process, but... Oh, right, and we have the... Yeah. We have the armor on, the dress, so okay, I probably should have been more careful.
Poor wretches left to linger here. Could be relaxing in Elysium, or Asphodel at least. No wonder they're upset.
I don't know, is this really worse than Asphodel? From Hades 1? And we've seen it in little bits and pieces in Hades 2 when Kronos teleports us there, but I don't really think of that as a particularly pleasant place.
Kronos claimed it was an act of magnanimity, unsealing the underworld gates, letting the dead roam free. This can't possibly be better than when my father ruled.
Hey, at least it means I can set foot in these parts without inciting some huge territorial dispute. Setting aside the fact that we're already in the middle of one.
Okay, I hadn't really thought of that. Did anyone actually say that before, that one of the things that Kronos did was basically free all of the undead, or dead, I guess. Well, we did technically see some zombies of sorts, some shades, whatever you want to call them, on the surface even, and that's, what, in the first and second floor primarily on the surface? And they have, in part, made up Kronos' army, so I guess we sort of already knew that in a way, although I'm not sure we've ever had it explicitly stated before like this. Okay, let's see. So obviously we're looking at crit-oriented stuff here. Foes in your cast may take critical damage from attacks. That's a pretty nice setup, given how, as we were saying, the cast, at least usually, is something we use as an opener and then follow up with bigger damage dealers later on. So lead cast, then go attack, and it synergizes well with this. Otherwise, after dash, your charge moves may deal crits for 2 seconds. We have the dash bonus from the Jeweled Palm Hades boon that we got at the beginning. Specials may deal critical damage, but prime magic. Don't want to do that one, because we don't have as much setting up for it, and also, at least for one more room, we take damage whenever we use the special. So I think we take this one.
My mark is yours.
Thank you. I don't believe her boons are upgradable either. So, I'm pretty sure... I mean, sure, we'll give it a shot. Oh, I need the cast back, please. That's what I'm looking for. Whoop, careful now. Nope. Not so fast, buddy, old pal. You would think that the freeze effect from the Demeter cast would go a long way in an encounter such as this. There we go. Okay.
As the shadows dance.
And we now make that even stronger. And at this point, obviously we are very far into diminishing returns territory. Okay, so life or shop. And at this point, yeah, this is the penultimate room. This is going to be free life upgrade versus shop. It's actually our second one of the floor. Still have enough money to potentially get Ares. That's
Good evening, boatman.
exactly what we're looking for. Okay, perfect.
In the name of Hades.
Okay, so we can get... Oh! Oh, right! Technically, this is a different category... Or not this. This is a different category of dash boon. We technically can still get a dash boon like this. Charge casts cause Blade Rift. I remember there was a run a little while back where we really wanted to see a high rarity version of this, and it could have been absolutely incredible. So I think it was our highest health run ever, and it was also just completely busted. Might have been with the hidden axe aspect, but it didn't work out. But I think this makes the most sense with what we have going on right now. And then I think we'll probably pass on these. Yes, again, we could potentially buy this, but I think we're still ahead of schedule on loading up on magic. And we might have even gotten a magic room that we didn't have any choice about. And, you know, one magic restoration boon, and I think we're pretty much good to go for the rest of the run on that front. Okay, so Hecate, we are not allowed to use our special.
How fair's the task?
I've told my brother of what Kronos has done, but he expressed reluctance about having to destroy a member of our family. He even suggested father may be partly to blame.
Okay, now this is definitely new, and I think we might have seen a conversation a little bit like this on either our previous run or the run before that when we ran into Hecate, because of course, we've talked many times about how it seems as though Melinoi and Hecate, they need to do more strategizing together, and or at least talking about how one is going to approach defeating Kronos. And for a while, I had assumed that that was just always going to happen in the crossroads, but technically, this is another way to have these sorts of conversations. Obviously, you'll never have these sorts of conversations with Hecate on the surface unless they were to have inserted more conversations when you activate the boon on the surface. I still feel like that was a little bit of a missed opportunity there, but this is a clever way to work in more plot-related conversations with Hecate. So I like this.
Complication. Your brother never was keen on taking direction, especially from your father. Now he's filling your own head with doubt. We have no recourse here, Malinois. Persuade him or all shall be for naught.
Okay, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Because, yes, as we've talked about many times before, the conversations between Malinois and Zagreus went from, we have no idea what we're going to do, to, here is the plan, we know exactly what we want to do, in just like one or two conversations, and seemingly nothing happened in between to naturally progress that. It just was some unexplained, unshown epiphany that Malinois had and didn't even tell us about, and yet then she gave us all the answers in that next conversation with Zagreus. We might have had a little bit of hesitation from Zagreus in the original True Ending. We certainly saw at least a little bit of that with the new True Ending, possibly a little more than we had the first time around. I don't remember if that was actually added or if that was already the case, but more build up in and around this process and talking about how we get there.
You also asked
And the
me
setbacks.
what exactly happened between Kronos and my father, and I realized I didn't know. Does anyone? This war he's waged, it isn't merely over who should rule.
This is also a point that Zagreus raised in our previous conversation with him. Why are we so absolutely certain that we want to not only defeat Kronos, but permanently delete him? Because that is completely unfamiliar territory for almost everyone on Olympus and here in the underworld as well. So it's kind of extreme, and we're we haven't really gotten that many reasons outside of just the sort of fourth wall breaking. We know that Kronos is supposed to be the antagonist, the big bad guy, and therefore we just always went in with the understanding that we were going to have to defeat him one way or another, and we just sort of accepted that this was one of the necessary steps to do that. But in order to make the plot really good and to make the player feel bought in and to want to push for Malinois to succeed on a deeper level, you want to see good reasons why Malinois would be concerned about Kronos taking over beyond just a matter of, well, we'd rather have our dad do it. Why? So, really looking forward to getting a little more information on that front as well. Just adds a little more depth to it. A lot more depth, potentially.
No bearing to our present state. In war, one would be wise to not give undue credit to one's enemies. If you spend all your time so deep in thought, then you shall hesitate to act, and your moment shall pass.
That's kind of a cop-out answer from Hecate. I'm a little disappointed about that. But basically, you know, we are opposed, we are against Kronos. And so from our perspective, he's the bad guy. But there aren't that many signs yet to show that Kronos' rule, Kronos being in charge, is worse than Hades being in charge. There haven't been many signs of that, haven't been many conversations about that, other than just running into Hades and moping with him, basically. So that is also an area that I think could definitely benefit from getting a little more. Yeah, we can kind of just drop that and get a lot of damage from it over time, especially if she just hangs out directly on top of the cast, which is quite convenient. Tempted to try to find out which one she is, but it's not that one. Not sure when we want to bring out the Hex. Maybe here? Maybe immediately afterward? Is that all? Wow, it is. Close to immediate second phase. Yep, pretty much. Oh no, I was about to use a cast. I wanted to have one down on the ground first. Preemptive. Before we transform. Okay, any day now. Well, I was just standing still. I actually don't know if there's anything you can do to accelerate the rate at which you come back from that to your normal form. Woo, that's a bad place to be standing. So I was mostly just standing still rather than jumping around. Usually I do jump around a lot more during that. It does make me wonder if that actually accelerates it. Might be enough to take her out. It is. Very nice. I don't think we ended up losing all of our armor there.
Thank you.
In fact, I don't think we took any damage. So we have a couple of resistances from the Hermes boon we picked up a little while back. Also, does that... Hold on. Where is that one? Yeah, our sprint speed is also a little bit faster from that as well. It's such a good boon. So I was noticing that. But I felt a little faster when doing this. Don't forget you. Okay. And then carry on. So now we also have the pieces for potentially that duo hex we were looking for. Okay, this now exists between every floor. Which we recently purchased. That is new. Okay. So we don't need this, which is nice. It means we could take the calling card just to double down on benefiting from Fate's Whim. We could take Moonbeam just to get even more points in the hex and make sure that we can actually have enough points to use the duo boon, because we technically still need that to get the prophecy completed. But I think we still have time. We can do this. And we've so few boons that we can get pretty aggressive rarefying whatever we see. Take the healing we don't need. Take this. That's a little tempting. Obviously the timing would be ideal. Let's do it.
Should help.
And then, curious how much, yeah, level 8 version of this is worth. We're keeping it. We're keeping all this stuff.
Heading in.
Okay. Should be, I think I just heard, seeing, yep, one of these. A little disappointed to be passing on Hermes, because in general, I think he's really good. But we'll still go for it. No damage penalty.
This old place.
And one of these while we're at it. Oop, that's it.
Chaos, I heard your call.
And then here, have less life. Afterward, our cast deals extra damage. Every time we cast, we take a bunch of damage. Afterward, we gain a bunch of life. We lose magic from dashing. Afterward, our sprint is faster. Don't really... I know we were just talking about how we do have extra sprint speed. So we already have that to a certain extent. We'd be even faster still. Our sprint boons, though, are mostly based on the dash, like pressing the dash button rather than holding the dash button. So... I don't know, none of these feel amazing. The downside of this is probably still the most manageable. The upside is maybe the least exciting. If this were higher rarity, I feel like we would probably end up going that route. Again, just further trying to force this into being a damage-dealing, primary damage-dealing boon. I think we can still manage that. I wish it was higher rarity so that that number was a little bit higher, but we still have a little bit of armor, and we, I think, picked up some max life at some point. Feels like we have more than the base amount. Okay, now this is a very good time for this. There we go. One room down, not so bad.
Get it, Hecuba.
And we still have the extra cast damage also from the dress, which is likely to go away quite soon. Okay, now, of course, we have spent somewhat aggressively and at least skipped one cash money room, and therefore we don't have a lot to work with here. We might have kind of forced ourselves into skipping this shop. And one of the reasons why we were going to those shops so aggressively from the onset was so that we had an opportunity to set the Ares precedent, which we have already done. So it's not as urgent as it previously was, so maybe we'll pass on that for now. Just spend a little bit of time loading up on the monies. Okay, I couldn't even dash in time. There was nothing I could do. I saw them right on top of me, and yet I still could not move in time. That feels a little bit cheap. Excuse me. Oh, that was... Okay, that was just me. Brain.exe was not working on that one. I will readily admit to that. Okay, so now... The tricky part is, we have so few boons. There's not a lot of foundation to work from here. I mean, in a vacuum, yes, Zeus is usually very good. So maybe we go there? Yeah, probably.
Here goes.
Hard to go wrong with Zeus. Which of the... Oh, it's this guy. Uh-oh. Nope, nope, leave me alone. No. I was waiting for the cast to come back. You were wondering why I didn't drop it earlier. Still on cooldown as I was running past a lot of these guys. It's not a good time. Ooh, hello. That should be quite helpful. I can use special now, right? I think that has evolved. Okay, now focus on you. Oop, excuse me. Wait for it. Now we move in. Come on, he's doing his thing. Set a booby trap. He's taking damage. No, he still hit me at the very end there. A little too eager to get in. That's alright. Not too bad. I do think that is the hardest of the mini-bosses on this floor, potentially by a significant margin at that. Our cast, theoretically, should have been really helpful, but I didn't get the timing of it very well.
How exactly you shall vanquish Kronos, someone shall have to explain to me at some point. Your witching ways shall help you to prevail where we could not, At least he hasn't yet imprisoned you along with your kin.
Okay. I like how, even in this case, this is not a conversation with Hecate. So, you know, that's who we would expect to see the primary, actual, actionable steps be revealed to us. But at least Zeus is acknowledging that we are mid-process, and that there was just no mid-process at all previously. There's just a huge gap. Okay, so we can rarefy anything to the maximum amount, basically. And I'm thinking it might be the special. I know we kind of passed on some special-oriented things earlier. Ooh. That could be good, though. I don't know that that's as... I don't know that the rarefication is as necessary for this one, but I do like that combo. It does make our cast aimable. Okay, and again, more magic. We've built up a little bit more at this stage. Still... not spending that aggressively. I think, given how low we are on cash, that would also be quite helpful. Oh, right. Except now, aiming it. The tricky thing is, that is actually a thing. And if you're trying to just drop it quickly, it is not as straightforward as it used to be. And in a room such as this, just dropping it right on top of you, given how there are going to be a bunch of fish chasing after me all the time, it's not the worst thing. Oh, I ran into that. Several just very silly mistakes here. That potentially qualifying as another small one at least. Okay.
Okay.
Get the cash. Now we have more money to work with. The Chaos Boon evolved, and the one that we took gives us cast damage. Okay. So it kind of makes up for, I forget exactly how much cast damage we got from the dress that we had, but now we've lost that. We've replaced it with this, functionally. It may be better, it may be worse, I'm not sure. Then, still for the rarefication options, I still don't think Narcissus is very good, and we have skipped him many times before for that reason. Then we made a bit more of a point of going there because we were trying to work through his side quest, and we have now done that, so I feel like maybe now we might go back to not taking him very often. I'm kind of tempted to see what this is going to entail. That was not the type of enemy I was expecting to see, nor is it where I was expecting them to spawn in. Sometimes those blades that fall down, it is something in my brain does not register that as being our ability. Okay, now granted, I kind of should have known that this was going to be what would show up here. I guess it could have been a nectar, which I probably would have taken in that case, but it always would have to be of the same category, the gathering resources. I just did not realize that technically Narcissus, the other friendly NPCs as well, count as that same category. The other category is things like boons, hammers, life, magic, and those, if you see one room reward that gives you crafting resources, it means the other ones are not going to give you the boon category worth of things, and vice versa. Unless you're in the Fields of Mourning, where it's a potentially a combination of multiple things. Yeah, I guess we'll still do this, even though I was just talking him down.
You like?
He did give us better stuff either last time or the time before that. I kind of got the sense that was a one-time thing, though.
Don't worry, man. She's not so bad. She doesn't stay for long. Soon it'll just be you and me again. And all those shades back there.
Pardon the interruption, Narcissus. Were you just speaking to your own reflection there?
They're always quick to judge, aren't they? Look, Laurel or whatever your name is, you'll never understand what I've got. Don't even try.
Yanny. Okay, so we can get gold, we can get a palm slice, or we can get healing, which we technically do kind of sort of need, but only a tiny bit. So I'm thinking, and then there's crafting resources that are not particularly helpful for us right now. I think it's probably this.
Help yourself.
Ooh, Aries again. Okay, technically, again, I don't think we need more Aries. One was sufficient, but that's all right. It's not as far as I wanted that to go. I wanted it to be closer. The guy right in front of me. The right direction. Yeah, the reason why I was keen on taking the Zeus cast so that we could target the Zeus Sword supporting cast, so we could target them, was there are some encounters where it is very helpful to have that ability, so you don't want to be needing to stand directly on top of enemies to hit them with the cast, but naturally on this floor we've seen a bunch of enemies that just rush us down immediately, and it would have been maybe more helpful to have the cast just always centered right around us.
Hear me, on my authority.
Let's see here, so yes, we will probably look to rarefy whatever we take here. We do see... Okay, this is not the Magic Restoration one. This is the one that just gives us the attack speed from it. We still don't have an attack boon, which would be kind of useful, although I have mixed feelings about his attack boon. If we rarefy it enough, maybe it's okay. I mean, but bear in mind, this is level 4 boon, and despite that, it is only at 50% bonus damage, so it's not great from a pure damage standpoint, but it also has the damage over time, or at least the delayed damage from the wounds. So, it just feels like it's a little all over the place and doesn't really know what it wants to be. A pure damage boon or a delayed damage boon. Maybe we'll still take this and we'll rarefy it up. So there are probably other supporting wound-based Ares boons that we just haven't really taken or haven't benefited from as much as we could have, because we haven't really gone out of our way to take wounds. Okay, well, let's do that. I am generally a big fan of at least loading up on the plasma stuff, because if you get those to be high rarity, high level, and you get both the one, there are two different plasma boons, the one that just gives you straightforward speed and the one that gives you magic restoration. If you get them both, then they can synergize quite a bit, and your benefits from the plasma really start to add up. Okay, and I think, is this the penultimate room? Oops. Oh, I think it is, which means free Selene, and we would like to get more Selene so we can actually lock in that duo boon, because we don't yet have it. We have picked up more gold, so we would likely benefit more, at least in the short term, from this shop. but maybe we can be thinking more long-term and just go here for now.
Dig here.
Save the money and get more aggressive on either the next floor or maybe even on the super shop in the final floor. So if we can get the duo boon here, which we can, that would be nice, because this is the thing we need for the prophecy, and we've never seen this before. Lance of Ares. Your hex can be Godsent. You inflict wounds with each hit from the effect. Okay, we might have needed wounds for this to even have shown up. I don't know. Maybe any Ares boon is sufficient to give you what you need for the duo, but... So it's still plus 50 power. When inflicting this, can be reapplied after 3 seconds. And we can use it one more time. In boss encounters, we'll definitely look to do that. And then I think we'll do this. So we take less damage while the hex is active, and then as time goes on, we can potentially upgrade it further still. We may very well find ourselves going Moonbeam on the next floor.
Your path has led
And there, prophecy fulfilled. Okay, because that one's kind of tricky. You need to be using a specific aspect, and you need to get a specific god to show up with that aspect, and then you need to get enough hex points, which is usually not that difficult because it doesn't cost that many. But still, that being said, collectively, it does take a little bit of target farming or some very good luck.
Please welcome this lady. This is my stage, and this is my show, and you are not going to ruin it again.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, going straight into things though. Again, not really who I was aiming for, but that's alright, I guess. Trying to get the drummer. Oh, okay. Moving on to someone else then. Damage is adding up pretty quickly. I would appreciate if you didn't block all of our damage, though. Or do that. Ah, I technically aimed it behind her, even though she's in the circle. It still counts as a block for her. Whoop. That was technically behind her as well. Okay, this is technically our last duo. Maybe it was worth saving that. There we go. Still the normal version, of course. Okay, cool it, Jetty. Oh, I missed. I know you're the featured artist and all, but I need you to cool it. Whoop, okay. This is why I typically want to get rid of the drummer quickly. There we go. Oh, I missed. That was supposed to be aimed at Roxy, not Skilla. No! Keep on hitting Skilla. It's technically behind her. Might have still gotten a little bit of value from that. Okay, there we go. That's big. Maybe I should be holding this more. Doing charge casts just for the sake of targeting it more precisely. If nothing else. Okay, now this should be helpful for this encounter. And there we go.
My claim.
All right.
Show's over. Technical difficulties.
I guess you could call it that. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here. Let's head on out. Okay, so the question now becomes, do we moonbeam? What I'm wondering is, can you actually rarefy the chaos boons with the Narcissus keepsake as well? Because I don't think we've ever done that before, but I am kind of interested to try. It is technically still a boon, so in a way I feel like you should be able to. Even if it's kinda sorta in its own separate subcategory. Can you sell chaos boons here? Okay, well, I need to do that first, or do this. The question is basically, and we're gonna, I know we used little, we did use a few of these, but they do persist even once we take it off. So do we go here, or do we don't need this. We could, however, go here. It gives us cast damage. I feel like it's kind of unnecessary at this point. So let's embrace this hex. Okay, and now we have a decent bit of cash. 6 encounters. We have enough cash that we could potentially benefit from this a fair bit. However, the question then becomes more so, do we have enough shops in which to do that? Because might only be able to hit one. I think we're still just going for that and only that. Okay.
For morning fields.
Let's head on out. Okay, more Selene, which technically is more or less guaranteed with the Moonbeam. So that's good. And then we're going to upgrade the level on... We would probably prefer one of these Ares boons rather than the very high diminishing returns. I mean, technically it is possible to double the rarity, or rather double the level of your highest level boon with Echo. We have had that happen on a few occasions with some really powerful boons, so it actually could be reason to further upgrade. And this is a mini Selene, but it means we can cash in the Moonbeam a little more quickly, which is kind of useful because that's a lot of bonus value. So make it last longer. Enemies take more charge move damage when they've been hit by the shine effect. Hits foes more times, and then we can start shifting over to this side. What's this one? Didn't even look at this. Hex deals plus 50% damage each time it hits the same foe. I do like that a lot, especially given how we have extended the length of the Hex quite considerably. I think we go here, and then charges up a little more quickly. That's good because we did increase the cost of it a bit with that one. Okay, so now the Hex is already quite a bit stronger and will get stronger still. I think I'm still going to go for this first, though. Oh! I feel like that's unusual timing for this, on this floor. Yeah, I don't know how we're doing in terms of our speed here. This setup. Oh, no! Did she kill steal that from us, or did we technically just get that at the last second? Nope, stop that! Stop that! Uh-oh, she is leading at the moment. That's not good. In part because she's, I think, stolen a few kills from us, but we have to use this, which should help a lot. Who's left? Oh, you are. Okay, we did beat her, but it was closer than I would have liked that to have been. Okay. So, probably would rather not upgrade this. I mean, we're not getting the diminishing returns any more diminished than they were before. I think it's been +2 damage every half second for a while now. That's hard to get excited about. I think it's gonna have to be you. Honestly, it might actually be. I think it is actually this.
That's better.
I guess everything is getting some diminishing returns just because we're already with the jeweled palm already starting with things upgraded a few times. Now for you. That was very nice. Very straightforward. Okay, so 3 more points. And get you bonus damage to Guardians, that's nice. Then the thing is, the base damage is really low. So giving it +10 power is actually pretty significant. But then we also have a few things that benefit from it lasting longer. This does, in a way, I guess that does. Obviously, this does, in a way, as well. This is the big one, though. So, I mean, we could end up going for both of these. I guess we might as well go here and here. That way we're getting the bonus damage and we're also getting a little bit closer to this. Get a little bit of the best of both worlds that way. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. I don't know what type of skill we want to upgrade with the hammer. Probably the attack. But not sure about that. And we just have so few boons. Getting more Demeter stuff, if we could get something to make this cast, some more utility things on the cast, because it's already so upgraded in its base form, I feel like we can get more value than usual from some of those more peripheral things. If that actually stops you from doing your laser beam for a little while, that would be very convenient. I don't know if that's going to be enough to take them out. Just one round of that, and that alone. Throw in a little more of the other stuff on top of that, and it definitely is. Oops, that's not a good thing to walk into! Oh my goodness, I don't think we've ever had that happen to us in this encounter before, but it's pretty bad. Because they can load up on a lot of damage if, for whatever reason, you have to stand still. Oh, I should be closer. I just remembered that she does technically have a close range skill, but maybe didn't need to be that concerned about that. But yeah, turns out I don't know what the technical name for it is, but the smoke clouds that make you move slower. Not good. Not good in this encounter. Okay, then for this, let's see. So we can get magic restoration, cast. So this is one of the things that I mean. Make it so that the cast also does gusts, and we can level that up. We could rarefy that up. Or we could rarefy it. We can't really level it up immediately. Although this, it's a little late for it. But it's already epic rarity, and if we rarefy this, then I think it accelerates the rate at which it rarefies stuff, which is really tempting. So I think I'm going to do that, and then we try to keep our eyes peeled for Arctic Gale later on, and we'll maybe try to save our other rarifications for that. So yeah, only needing 3 encounters for something to rarefy is pretty big, and especially since this is already at the max rarity, I want it to land on you, because at level 9, we just would benefit a whole lot from that getting rarefied, and we can double the level here. Getting a level 18 Arctic Ring up to a higher rarity would be very good. Okay, now this obviously is Echo.
Finally, a cheerful sight.
A cheerful sight, cheerful sight, cheerful sight.
Alright, let's see. Ooh, we haven't taken this before. It might be the last one that we need for prophecy completion purposes, but let's just see. Extra item from Charon. In a vacuum, evade is really good. This would probably be what I would take. But I think this is the last thing we need for prophecy completion, so maybe we'll take it just to check it off. Even if I do think it's pretty bad, and that's why I deliberately have not taken it in the past. Because it gives us a lot now, but long term, when it would be most helpful, I think it's more or less guaranteed to go down, right? Each location, it goes down. Because the dodge-based one, it at least only procs when the probability of dodging goes down when it actually activates. So, at least it's like, you're at least gonna get some use out of it, for sure. Whereas for this one, that feels a little less so the case. Alright, I think we're going this route. And at this rate, the order, we should just go in whatever... Go with whatever we think is best first. I walked straight into that. Looking for the bow. Where is it? The reason why I walked straight into that was because usually this path leads you toward the bow, the golden leaves, and that path led me straight into that instead. Yeah, freeze duration, that extra source of damage on the cast, those are the kind of things that I think could synergize really well with what we already have from the Demeter cast. So that's what I'm thinking about. Future Demeter.
Flourish.
Okay, I'm thinking it's still gonna be this first, though. Freeze effect, very useful against 1,000 Punch Men. Oh, I missed. That was not really where I wanted that to be. That was not really where I wanted that to be. Nor was that. Oh, man. There we go. Okay.
Now my reward.
Now for this, let's see. Oh, wow. We have a lot of Earth Boons. I did not even realize that. And we could get another one here. It's still not enough for this to activate. I know we've taken this before and not been able to activate it because the threshold is so high. This one's kind of nice, especially if we were to rarefy it. I don't know that we have the best clear speed with our build. It would be a little tempting to rarefy it, but as I was saying before, I think there's at least one other particular boon that we would really like to save that for. So I think the other thing is the Ares infusion is also for Earth boons, and his threshold is quite high as well. It's either 7 or 8. So it is speculative, but since we have a few potential ways we can benefit from stacking Earth boons, I might take this, even if it's just common rarity. I guess now it could end up being the recipient of this, which would be a little unfortunate, but being able to dash more frequently does actually help us a lot with what is a few different dash boons. Now let's go here.
They won't like this.
Oh, once again, oh my goodness. Once again, brain just stopped working as I think, fixated on one enemy and completely ignored everything else that was happening at the time. There we go. Okay. So for this, attacks have plus 10 power and they work in a larger area. Charge attack. Right, we would like to do more charge-based abilities, that's true. These are all attack-oriented one way or another. Technically, I think we do want to do this, and what with the freeze to help buy us some time to charge it up, I think that's feasible, more feasible than it would usually be, and with one of our Chaos boons, is that something that we took? Yeah, we did. Okay, faster charge up. Doesn't necessarily have to be full. Actually, I should read the fine print. The hammer upgrade that we just got, does it need to be fully charged up for that? Or is that fine even with just any level of chargedness? Whoop. Okay. Lightning Lance is what got improved. That is the dash that we just picked up, wasn't it? I think. Or wait, no, whatever the Ares boon was. Oh no, it was Stutter Step from Hermes, and it wasn't that. Oh, this. Okay, that's not great. Even more damage. No, it might be that, or this. Probably should be this at this point. No meme potential to double the level of this anymore. And so I think we now have the setup move, primary damage dealing move, as we were talking about before. Maybe it's a little more damage from the setup move and a little less damage from the payoff than we were expecting to see, but nonetheless. Okay. Now we do have a full-blown shop after this. Oh, hello. I missed.
It's watching me.
No, there isn't any item over here. It didn't give us any gold anyway. Okay. So we probably are just gonna save our money here. This, of course, has some pretty crazy synergistic potential. If combined with the right thing, I'm realizing it might actually be able to combine with this. I don't know that that's all that necessary for us, though. So I think we're just saving our money here. Ooh. haven't had a fishing spot in a long time. There we go.
Ah, a tearjerker. Mine.
Okay, so I think we'll take the slice first, then we'll take Hephaestus. We'll probably pass on the bones. And that was Lightning Lance again. It gets a little bit of damage from the level, but it's just not really that helpful.
In the name of Hades.
This becomes Magic Restoration. Start of the encounter, we get armor for the first 7 seconds. Gain life based on magic. Well, that is artificially inflated temporarily because of Echo's fight, which is kind of interesting in a way. So maybe we'll go for it. Also, Hephaestus, his infusion is also earth-based, and for him, it's just, I think, bonus damage based on the number of earth boons you have. There's no minimum amount, but the more you have, the better. And most of his stuff is either earth or fire, I think, and all this is earth. Plus 88 life. Wow. If we were to get the Ares boon, that gives us a chance to deal double damage based on how much life we've lost. The more life you have, the more chance you can get on that. We have a lot of life. It could be great, but we don't have it yet. So on to Cerberus we go.
I have to calm him down.
You have to calm him down. Woo! Easy there, Cerberus. Easy there, buddy. Easy there, buddy. I've just been making a real point of running into those on this run, haven't I? Ooh, goodness. Not the best of timing. Should phase, yeah. It's also not the best timing for that cast. This is what we're looking for, though. Cerberus is probably gonna come back pretty soon. Just poke here. There we go. And drop this, and do this, and then go crazy. Nope, don't run away whereas I'm about to do that to you. Oh, that just exploded immediately. Did it? That was weird. Fire breath? Nope. Keep waiting for the fire breath and it's not happening. There we go. Right as he tries to burrow away. Not so fast, Cerberus.
The princess once again somehow withstands the fangs and flames of Cerberus himself.
Alright, he has been soothed.
Some gemstones.
Yeah, gemstones. I think that is all for now.
Good.
Okay. So here... Oop. I'm not sure that I necessarily wanted to do that immediately. Well, it's not going to be the Narcissus keepsake. That's now off the table. But it could be... I mean, usually we'd go for one of these. I don't know if we want to mix it up on this run. We've, for the most part, managed to squeeze in all the things we were looking to, in large part because we didn't ultimately end up needing to use the sword hilt. That is nice. Maybe we could throw that on if we really wanted to. Rank it up, or at least experience it up a little bit more. It wouldn't be enough to rank it on this floor alone, I don't think. And this is not really the opportune time to do it, but we're looking to go out of our way to set ourselves up. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I have an idea. Gain life based on your magic? Let's do this. Here. If this were fully ranked up, then... Oh, actually, this might be able to hit max rank on this floor. But it means we're getting a large chunk of not only magic, but also life.
Good.
Did it improve our life? I feel like it didn't. I think that was the number we were already on. If I wasn't looking at it at the exact moment I pressed the button, but if so, I do feel a little bit cheated. This is really nice for us. The only concern there being that 6 encounters, if we go straight to Kronos, that is enough. If we do not, if we take any detours, then it probably will expire. There was that other shop item that made it so our next shop item would last for longer. It would have been, I forget if it's, what, 2 Guardians or something like that, so it definitely would have been long enough in that case. Oh, combining it with this would be hilarious, though. You actually make it so it just never procs for you. I think we might still take... nah, we'll save the cash. Might still take that. Nah, we'll be fine. We'll save the cash. See if there's anything we're willing to dump here. I mean, you could make the case. It has, in some ways, been more of a pain than a help. And it is worth roughly a boon, a little more than that. It would finance both these guys. You know what? I think I might do it. It's our only air boon. But that's not really a concern, I don't think. If we're looking for duos, we still have so few boons. There isn't a lot of duo potential. So dumping Zeus does make that a little bit harder to get. We'll keep it simple, I guess.
One last drop.
Okay. Oh, something special over here. You, and I do see that golden urn as well. Okay.
Should be a clear path to the house.
Here we go. Express route is set.
She is heading for the house again. Stop her.
That she is. Is it bad that I just immediately saw that and thought, well, the enemies are taking a long time to spawn in, might as well get that thing instead? Well, if we can get best of both worlds, then I guess we'll take it. No, not the Rat Man. I missed! Sort of. Not exactly. Okay.
Four chambers to go.
This is what I was referring to before. Given the opportunity, it is generally a good thing to go for the side rooms, because they can be quite rewarding, as is the case here. One would think. It does also make it a lot easier, to sneak up behind you when you're frozen. Then the other guy, of course, decided to make things difficult for us. But if you want to hang out on those traps, and if those traps would be so kind as to actually activate on you, that would be lovely. Let's break this out while we're at it. Oh, I totally whiffed on the cast, and I walked straight into that. There we go. This is what I wanted to see. Arctic Ring got rarefied. That was our highly leveled cast, and I don't remember exactly how much damage it was pre-level.
Some shade rot.
Obviously, don't have enough fear for that. Obviously, going here. Getting lots of these spots, because that is the type of resource that Hecuba gives us an extra chance to find, right? Hey, man. How's it going?
Where's Cerberus, Father?
Yeah.
He's usually right here. I saw him in the fields as before.
He runs amok at my behest, spreads the attention of the Titan's legions thin. Eventually, they drive him back, but can do him no harm.
So just you and the boulder, then? Looking as though it's not been heaved up any hills in quite a while. Kronos doesn't make you do it.
That's an interesting point.
I'd have less difficult a time than a mere shade. Besides, these shackles cannot be unlocked, save by the Titan's command. But I'd remain here for eternity before I'd grovel at his feet.
That is also referencing something, or at least acknowledging something that I'd raised previously, that it's a little odd to see a god chained and, handcuffed, however you want to describe it, when one would think Hades, being a god, has magical abilities to remove such restraints. But here he at least says that only Kronos can do that. Now, that's probably what we would have assumed, but it's nice to at least have that acknowledged so that it isn't just this strange oversight.
You say this boulder was companion to a mortal king. I sense something from it. There can be so much energy within a common stone.
Boldy?
I'll take you at your word. The boulder and I were not as close as was its last relationship. Though perhaps you shall coax something from it. The witch apparently has taught you everything.
Okay, let's see. So we obviously do already have the dash boon from him that came from the first keepsake we took. Gain damage based on number of death defiances. Haven't used any yet. After we take damage, go dark. Makes us deal more damage for 5 seconds. Or restore the life that we lose up to 150. I think we probably do the darkness. Thank you.
I know you cannot hear me, but if you have comforted my father in his plight, thank you.
Oh, look at his smile. It's so derpy. I love it.
Huh.
And that, I don't think we've done that before. I don't remember if that has been an option and we just missed it for whatever reason, or if that is truly new to the true new ending, or maybe it was just a coincidence that it happened to happen now. Also, I'm noticing in the background that we actually do see the dangling grandfather clock, whatever you call that component of it. And I remember a few runs ago we were talking about how we have all these symbols, but that is obviously Kronos' symbol, on so many different things. But very rarely do we actually see grandfather clocks themselves, so it is nice to actually have some of them in here. And maybe there's some in the rooms like this, and we just are a little distracted most of the time. No, Ratman. That. Ooh. Can I get you into that cast? It's a little annoying that it can actually get targeted off screen, or, outside the bounds of the arena itself. Hey, buddy. There we go. Okay, so now either progress or get higher rarity Demeter. Now we do have one of the shop items that is going to expire. Oh no, we didn't buy anything from the shop. Yeah, and the longer we go in that case, the more time we give steady growth to boost stuff. So we got it a little bit late, but might be a difference between getting one more go out of it and not being able to. One more upgrade from it. Pretty nice. The charge attack knocks me back a little bit, and that actually was the difference between getting hit by something and not getting hit by something, which is a little annoying. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad for the Super Rat Man. I think we might have only gotten hit by one of the mini rats.
In the name of Hades.
Oh? Let's see. Okay, so this is higher rarity here. Charge cast does more damage if we are in the binding circle. The bonus is doubled. This one is nice early on. It's very similar to one of the Hermes boons that we saw, this one, but I think it's a little late for that. Otherwise, we have yet to get a single special boon, and this is quite good, damage-wise at least, and then we could rarefy it even more. Although, do we build upon what is already pretty strong, even if it technically wasn't originally intended to be a primary damage dealer? Or do we start from scratch, although with a very nice head start, on something that is a little more naturally a big damage dealer, maybe we still go with this.
Your choice.
We try to stand inside of the cast. I think that's going to happen, at least against Kronos. You know, obviously we're going to drop the cast on him, and then we're also going to be up close to him as we're trying to wail away with our attack. Yeah, there we see the damage really starts to add up. Okay, that is actually not what I was aiming for, but it worked, so we'll take it. I was actually just trying to get rid of the environmental effect. This guy here. Oh, I left one of the rat men alone. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Always get rid of the rat men. Oh, okay. I'm realizing now as soon as I did that there is one of these guys, which might have been useful to save our super hex for. But we might end up passing on it anyway. That gave us the equivalent of another fire boon, which is not all that useful at this stage, we don't think. Ooh, we've not gotten this before, which again, if we're just trying to... Oh. This and this would both be very good from a build effectiveness standpoint, but if we're, again, just trying to sort of check off boxes for prophecies and whatnot, given how this is a no-fear run, maybe it makes sense to do that, and this would do that. I don't know, it might even be the last one we need. But we just passed on a special boon, so it doesn't make a lot of sense from a gameplay standpoint, but I guess we'll do it. It's not the last one we needed. This would be a palm. I think we're just gonna pass on it. If we still had our super hex, then I'd be a little more up for it, but I don't think so. We'll go super palms here. Oh, more than just super palms. It's a fountain chamber. For this, well, if you consider, hold on. Oh, it needs to be charge cast. Not the base cast, it needs to be charge cast. But if you consider that we can get crazy damage on this if we use it as a charge cast and we're standing in it, I think at this point we want to triple down on it. Otherwise, this is certainly not bad. I think that's definitely the odd boon out, but we'll go here. This technically means if we had taken Narcissus Keepsake, we would have gotten a little bit out of it, but okay, I am glad we see this. Oh, well, yes, for 2 more boons. But for a second I was going to say, because it might allow us to get 1 more steady growth upgrade, but no, that's definitely not going to have enough time to proc. We'll go here, see what we can get, and I think Demeter probably does still have more potential for us right now, whether it be the special or we still haven't seen the other peripheral cast-related boon that we saw earlier, the one that gives us the whirlwind effects. We turned it down then, but we're looking to pick that up 1 more time here and actually take it, ideally. We still don't have magic restoration. Charge attack is stronger, freeze effects last longer. That is also really helpful, given how we are spamming this all the time. So I'm thinking I might even rarefy it. At least once, maybe I'll save 1 rarefication. Oh, it's a big bonus when you rarefy it. Wow. Gives you a full extra second. I am quite tempted to rarefy again for 6.8 seconds of freeze time. That'd be insane. I'll hold on to the last one just in case.
If you truly wish to war with me, you'll find I'm more than happy to oblige.
Okay, I don't remember what he does, to be honest with you. Circles on the ground that deal damage, to no one's surprise. And they seemingly do damage quite quickly at that. Ooh, very quickly. Basically no time to react to it. Wow, this is long as well, this encounter. It usually is the case for when you make the gods and goddesses mad at you. I just completely whiffed. Oh my goodness. That was a horrible horrible span of a few seconds there. Alright, please get rid of you. Thank you. Okay, you're frozen for forever, which does help. But look at how much damage we took. Wow. Okay, the silver wheel did rank up, which means we now have more magic, and theoretically that's supposed to give us more health, although I feel like it may not have actually worked alongside you. Now let's see what we get here.
So many battles to be fought, yet I just cannot help myself sometimes.
The unfortunate thing is we took enough damage there that we now would theoretically like to see some healing in the next shop. You can get healing from this, if absolutely necessary. Really would have liked to have seen either his infusion, because I think we're eligible for it at this stage, or, I mean, a duo, obviously. I think his legendary is based on the plasma, so we are probably not eligible for it unless and until we have one of these. We still don't have magic restoration, so there is something to be said for this, although this gives us wound synergy, which is something I was referencing before. May make sense since we have wounds coming from our attack, so yeah, I guess we'll go with this. We have 300 magic, surely we'll be fine without magic restoration. Okay, and then I really thought we were going to have no choice but to go straight for progression at this stage. I'm surprised we still have another optional bonus room with Selene. Well, let's go for it. Oh wow, this is a nightmare. I think we have seen this room before. It is truly nightmare fuel. Oh gosh. Get out of there. Then yes, please. Okay, don't walk into that though. Okay. Definitely could have been worse. Oh, and this is an especially big Selene, isn't it? It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but sometimes the size, the physical size of the Selene boon is an indicator for how many points it's actually going to give you. Like when you go to the Fields of Mourning, and sometimes you see the mini ones that you don't even have to complete an encounter yet, and those are only worth 1 point, whereas usually they're worth, what, 3? This one might be worth 5. It is. So I think that's enough for basically everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, we can get everything. So that means Shine is more effective, more base damage. Shine is more effective, more base damage, and whenever we use a charge move, one random nearby foe is struck by the effect of the Hex. And since the Hex is fully upgraded with all this stuff, that's a pretty big deal.
With the grace of the moon.
Okay, so now we are certainly only going to see the rooms that make us progress toward Kronos. It does actually mean, I kind of forgot that all the rooms we had done were optional ones. We will have time for steady growth to proc one more time, I think. I wish that the healing room, the fountain, showed up a little bit later, because we could certainly use it now. It was not particularly useful at the time, though. Oh wow, this is nasty. Excuse me. I'd like to get out of here. Freeze duration is so nice, though. We do a whole lap around the area, and the enemies are still frozen. We've seen that several times now. Okay, I'm gonna break this out. You in the middle. You two. And there we go.
All clear.
Stabbing Rush. The dash boon. Okay. Again, probably not what we would have preferred to have seen. Probably would want to see this upgraded yet again. Okay, just a couple of super rapid. That's a charge cast, which means it should do crazy damage, especially if we're standing inside it. Oh wow, this is a longer encounter than I expected. I see you, Ratman. I will freeze you, Ratman. Wow, this encounter is insane. quick about that one. There we are.
One chamber left.
Oh, those just hadn't popped up in the past, I guess, because I was not using magic very aggressively until just now. Okay, so now, yep, that's it. Is this the only room left? Oh, and we'll get another boon rarefied after defeating Kronos, I think. Is what's gonna happen. Again, the freezes in a room like this, super helpful. Just makes it so much easier to deal with these guys. Right on cue, of course. Get more of them. Oop, that did hit me. It's another very long room. Wow. That's nasty. That was very much not where I wanted that to be. I think I missed that too. Whoa, okay, there you go. Great example of, really wish it was just not even possible for a cast to land out of bounds like that. I think we're still passing on that. And then it's gonna be Super Shop here. And that means, as I was saying, probably would like to see a heal. We saved one rarefication. And, I mean, getting a special, honestly, I don't know if it makes that much of a difference at this point. Magic Restoration of some variety wouldn't be bad. The infusion from either Ares and or Hephaestus would go a long way for damage. Those are some of the biggest things we're looking for here, and we have a decent sum of cash. Ooh. Ooh. 900, 150. Yeah, we can afford everything but the Charon card, and that's fine, because these are all the things we wanted to see. Maybe would have preferred Hephaestus over Demeter, but there are definitely still Demeter boons that we want. Okay, so let's start here, I guess.
Hear me, on my authority.
Special, yes. Charge cast, well, we do want to do more charge casts. So that's pretty tempting when combined with, well, this, but also this. So I think we're taking you, and we'll save our rarefication, because this boon cost more and had a guaranteed higher rarity, and similar story here, but we might want to rarefy that last one, which is not bonus rarity. Then you, freeze afflicted foes, shatter at 10% life, which insta-kills them, which is useful against bosses, especially since that tends to be when they're at their most powerful. Otherwise, charge attack, or special, which again, at this point, I'm kind of just committing to not taking it, because we have seen a few good special boons, but I think we'll go for this instead. It's also an earth boon, so for Ares, it's just a binary yes or no, do you have, I think it's 8 earth boons or not, so technically getting more is not meaningful at this stage, but the infusion, we want to see the infusion. We do not see it, we actually get high rarity options, though. Let's see. Striking foes with weapon, may spill plasma, and restore magic wouldn't be the worst thing. Getting still an epic rarity special, even from the lower rarity one, is pretty nice. Whenever foes with wounds take damage, they may spill the plasma. I didn't even remember that being a thing, but as I said, we have not really gone all in on the wounds before. We've done this plus the other non-wound related plasma boon, but I didn't even realize there were 3. And if so, then, yeah, you can get even more plasma going. But I think maybe we will take this just for the magic restoration. If we truly want to be spamming some of the charge moves, then it would be nice, even with our large mana pool, to have at least some regeneration. So we'll do that. We'll heal. And curious with the Echo upgrade that we got, where is that? Where is that? Has it deactivated altogether at this point? Because I was curious how valuable it is by the time we get to the end of the run, because that has always been the reason why I've opted not to take it, is because, unless it's on the second page, no? Reason why I've always opted not to take it was because it seemed as though by the time you get here, it's not going to do you much good. And technically, we did take all the optional rooms, which meant that was losing value over time. So maybe it is truly gone altogether at this stage, which I think kind of confirms that that's probably not really a boon we want to be taking in the future. But all right, let's get going. I am curious, since assuming we are able to defeat Kronos. Oh, we never ended up using this. Oh, oops. We could have rarefied one more time. I forgot about that on the last one. But this will proc after the Kronos fight. I wanted to hit this after the fact and just see how big that number gets. Not that it means anything, but all right, let's jump in.
Swim time.
I swear that was actually not even an intentional pun. Now, will anything change this time around, plot-wise?
You were never meant to be involved in this, granddaughter. You must have been a mere babe when first I arrived here. Alas, too late to meet. Yet even now, you are too young to understand.
Think we've heard that?
I would have been imprisoned with the rest. Though enlighten me. What is it that I'm still too young to understand?
You are too young to understand the disappointment and dejection that only family can provide. But the more of us you meet, the more of us you know, the sooner you shall learn.
Now, this is a pretty... I don't remember this part if we've heard it before, but I thought I remembered him calling us babe once before. That kind of jogged my memory a bit. I don't remember if he said this, but probably did alongside the previous lines. I wish this had a little more substance to it. I wish that he gave us a little more reason to be mad at him, other than just, family is hard. They're gonna disappoint you, and the only reason you aren't mad at them yet is because you haven't given them enough time to disappoint you, which is just not very compelling. So I wish he had a more compelling reason for us, or more reasons, plural, that are compelling as to why we would dislike him, and to justify the pretty extreme measures that we are going to permanently delete him. Because technically speaking, if you are trying to look at it purely logically and ignore the whole, this is a video game, and obviously in that context you have to defeat the final boss, put that aside and just from a neutral standpoint try to assess who ought to be the ruler of the underworld, Hades or Kronos. We don't have that many things to suggest that Kronos is horrible, other than that he is picking fights with all the gods and goddesses. But I mean, have you seen the other gods and goddesses? They're not much better on that front. Ooh, that's good timing for this. Oh, and I think the freeze made him do that phase for even longer than he would have usually done it, because that lasted a really long time. I was not really attacking him to the extent that I probably could have, to be honest. Please don't teleport. Please stay right there. Well, I walked straight into that. Slash, he did kind of aim it straight at me, I suppose. Ooh, that one's close as well. Okay, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to teleport out as soon as I set this up. I'd rather not. I still have yet to use any of the super hexes. I guess we'll break those out in the next phase at this point. Ooh, I don't like the friends that you brought. They're nasty. They're really nasty. But when you're both standing right next to each other, that is kind of convenient. He's going so slowly, I'm losing track of what he's doing. I should get him, right? Yeah. What happens if we do this at the very beginning? I don't want to do the charged hex, I don't think, because it does depend on us being closer. That was slightly slower, I think, than usual. Now.
The vicious god of war.
Yeah, you're gonna do that. Oh, you teleported away. I didn't appreciate that. Let me stand in it. It does even more, except I do need to go get rid of these guys, unfortunately. Whoa, hello. I was not really paying attention to you, to be honest. I was just paying attention to you. Okay, you're just gonna keep on respawning these guys. This is getting annoying. I'm gonna kind of ignore them, to be honest. Oh, one moment. Didn't really have a choice there. Seems like a good time to do this. Outside of the part where you do all that stuff, but... There we go.
My own family has done worse to me before, but I'm vastly stronger now. Stronger with each passing night.
We'll see about that.
You're old and tired. You don't even know why you're fighting anymore. To prove something to your children.
I don't know if that's new. That might be. But this is more along the lines of what I would like. More about what Kronos' actual motives are, other than just, I'm a surface-level evil supervillain, and there are no real reasons behind my being evil, other than just, I'm a bad guy.
They took everything from me. Everything and more. Now they seek for you to take the rest. Such a wretched family, this.
So be more specific with this next time.
Leave me be.
Talk more about the things that Kronos feels as though were robbed from him.
For my father.
Okay. Did we... Hold on. Cold storage rarefied? It's one of the... It has to be a Demeter boon. It's not this one. Which one was it? That was already fully leveled up. Oh, and did he die at 10% health? He technically should have with this. What was cold storage? I mean, obviously, as I was saying before, it doesn't matter at this point, but... For the memes... This one. Oh, the freeze lasts longer? Oh, man. That is insane. It was already super strong. Oh, right. Did see that guy at the corner of my eye at the beginning there. One moment. Okay, this one's gonna be much faster than the other ones. There we are.
Be at peace.
Okay, he gives us an air boon. All right. Okay, now let's head on out. And of course, this is where we've seen, potentially, a lot of the changes take place.
So much dust.
So I am curious if this is going to be repeating a conversation we heard in the build-up toward the original, true ending, or if there will actually be new things here.
To the abyss of the subconscious, I descend.
Full-blown conversation that is completely new, or just fragments?
Night and darkness, guide me to my blood beyond the grasp of time.
That dream, which means she must be close. Milinoe? Milinoe, that's a nice name. Milinoe, are you out there? No?
I think we have heard that before.
There. Hello again, sister. You wanted me to search for signs of Kronos preparing for a big surprise, and while it isn't much, I did locate machinery in Tartarus that seemed a little out of place.
Okay, I think we did see this before, and technically, this is a little bit of the incremental progress on Zagreus' side, so that is good.
Machinery. You mean the gears that turn the ever-shifting chambers? In my time, that machinery is spread through Tartarus as far as I can see. What do you make of it?
Yeah, we've definitely had this conversation before. So there were some little bits and pieces before. I guess, maybe at times I've been a little overly critical in that way of saying that it goes straight from having no idea how we're going to defeat Kronos to immediately, suddenly knowing completely how we're going to defeat Kronos. There have been little pieces along the way though, but it's just about connecting the dots more smoothly and adding other dots in between to facilitate that process.
Well, normally I wouldn't have made anything of it, but perhaps it's connected to what you're saying. I'm working on tracing where it leads. What about you? Any word on how we ought to proceed?
We need a weapon. The problem is that Kronos can resist the arms once used to vanquish him. On top of that, it needs to be available both to you in your time and to me in mine. The closer to our family, the better. Can you think of something suitable?
I think we have heard this before, and this was a pretty good example of something that it's sort of trying to do what I just described. The problem is that Kronos can resist the arms once used to vanquish him. That's almost believable that Melinoi could figure that out on her own, because we have defeated Kronos many times before, but probably could be rephrased to make that a little clearer, that that's how Melinoi is coming to that conclusion, that, hey, I've tried defeating him with the torches and axes and blades, and nothing has been able to permanently defeat him. But then it needs to be available both to you in your time and to me in mine, coming completely out of nowhere. Where on earth did Melinoi get this information from? We've never seen nor heard about this before, so that just seems like she's making that up, or taking a wild guess, or has somehow gotten this information out of nowhere and we didn't see it, so it's just leaving the player asking a bunch of questions. Closer to our family, the better. Same thing. So, and then, can you think of something suitable? I mean, at that point, obviously that's not going into the specifics anymore, but there are, I guess maybe, in that case, it's not always that there's a complete absence of information about how to get from point A to point Z. It's that points B, C, and D sometimes are just bad, to put it bluntly.
Nothing immediately comes to mind. I have some mortal weapons in my chambers, but they hardly worked at any point. A weapon both in my time and in yours, and none of the infernal arms will do.
Okay, at least here Zagreus is thinking some of these things out. He's doing the sort of ideation, the brainstorming, the problem solving that has been so sorely lacking from all the other things. It does still feel weird when the restrictions, the criteria that Melinoi came up with in the first place came out of nowhere, though. So, some things good, some things attempting to do important things, but kind of missing the mark. And again, I still think this is all stuff that we had before, but it's just with the new context and the new connecting pieces that we have seen in at least one of the previous runs, it's a little bit better. Even if in a vacuum, this is still the same.
Give it some thought, but please make haste. Kronos shall realize what I'm up to here eventually, and this connection weakens every night. For now, I'd better go.
Yeah, and this, I don't remember if this is old or new, but this connection weakens every night. Where's Melinoi getting that information from? We have no idea. It seems like she's just coming up with it out of nowhere, and it makes it hard to trust Melinoi's problem-solving skills and just in general her decision-making processes when she is either withholding important information from the player because she didn't mention this before, or, all those other things where, just why are we only learning of this in this situation, or is she completely making it up? Who knows? Is it a guess?
What happened to the servants at this house? To my friends? Loves of my life? You said Kronos took everybody. Did you mean everybody, or?
It's just reckless, kind of sloppy writing, I would say. More than kind of sloppy. It is sloppy writing, I would say. This, I think, is probably still the same and nothing critical here.
Well, no. Hypnos is with us, but fast asleep. Commander Skelemius, too. He's marshalling the Shades still loyal to our father. Poor Cerberus has been cast out into the morning fields. But as for all the rest...
Oh, at least the good Commander Skelemius made it out. But Nyx, Achilles, Thanatos, Megara, Dusa, Orpheus... Our grandfather has all of them locked up.
He has our father bound in chains in Tartarus. I understand he's trapped the others, frozen them in time. But we can break his hold on them. I'm certain that we can. Goodbye for now, brother. Think of a weapon we can use to set this right.
Yeah, so... little more. This is still not doing much, but it's maybe slightly better. We can break his hold of him. I'm certain that we can. Throw one more sentence in there. Maybe all we need is something like this. We should try this. Goodbye for now, brother. Maybe with the right weapon we can do it. I mean, technically, again, we were sort of already talking about weapons, although, is the the weapon, both the thing that helps us defeat Kronos and the thing that helps us unchain or unfreeze these other people who are stuck in time. Maybe a little more explanation could be helpful there.
Sure thing. I think of weapons all the time.
I remember that, because I'm pretty sure I made a Roman Empire reference there. That meme.
I think.
So yeah, little to no changes on that one. Given how there's a little more supporting information leading up to it now in the new true ending, it's maybe a little bit better, and it feels a little bit more like there are more steps along the way toward our concluding run. Some of those may have existed before, but they were weak, or there was still not enough supporting material around them so that it still felt like we were taking big leaps from one conversation to the next, one key plot point to the next.
We really showed him, didn't we, Freenos?
Okay, nothing from Dusa. We defeated him.
This memory of all you lost. It stokes your want for vengeance even now.
We got at least one prophecy done here. The one for the last duo hex spoon, which actually, gives us a bunch of the crafting resource for upgrading
your fate continues to unfold.
The Arcana cards, and we do still need to do that a little bit, so that's certainly useful. And this one, from Echo, we got the last of those. Okay, I mean, it's not worth that much, and I think we did kind of confirm that the one we were holding out on, maybe it was fight. It's not great. Unless you are desperately in need of short-term life and magic, and you aren't even sure if you're going to make it to the final floor, maybe in that case, it's helpful. It buys you some time to get healing from a well or something like that. But if you're trying to think longer term for the final Kronos fight, then at that point, it's probably going to give you little to nothing. So for that reason, I think you generally prefer almost anything else.
You'll know a nymph whose voice reflects your own.
300 bones is not that much in the grand scheme of things. Okay, you don't have an exclamation point above your head, so you don't have anything important to say to us this time. Whereas you do.
Hey, babe, I kind of got you something. Didn't want to make it a big deal or anything, so here. For always being sweet.
Excuse me? This has to be a trap, right? This is some kind of prank.
Bottle. Thank you, Eris. Though we're breaking from tradition here. What if we just kept giving each other this same bottle back and forth? What then?
Okay, but admittedly, her giving us a nectar bottle was not on my bingo card. Her being the first and only person thus far to do, I mean, technically, I guess we got rejected once or twice from at least Nemesis. Hecate did that at least with one of the times when we tried to spend time with her. I don't remember if she did it with a nectar, though.
It'd be total anarchy.
Now I feel like we ought to gift to her. Sure. Wait, how many do we have? Did we pick up any more on that? Oh, we have a bunch now. Okay, we can actually get pretty aggressive with this.
You know, I've tried brewing nectar myself. Got most of the key ingredients, except my batches never tasted right. Not like the stuff you get your hands on.
Nectar's always best when it's a gift. Ever had somebody else give yours a try? Perhaps it's better than you think.
Well, that's interesting to have that conversation immediately after she just gave us a nectar, and we kind of just gifted it right back to her. As she said, may very well end up being the case, where we just pass it back and forth.
Well, no, because for that I'd need a friend. Though I could always trick somebody into drinking it.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening.
Eris.
Well, if she spiked our nectar, then maybe we just gifted it back to her.
Another victory.
One way or another. Maybe not the best thing. Okay, still lots of time before that gets delivered. And then let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 bones. Let's go. Oh, well, now I don't want to sell this. Nor do I want to buy anything, because that's awesome. Well, I guess, assuming that we take the bonus bones weapon on the next run, it's gonna end up changing one way or another, even if we try to avoid every bones room and never sell fish or buy things from the broker ever again. One way or another, the number is gonna change, so alright. I think we do still need a little more Nightmare. The shipment that we're going to receive might be Nightmare as well, although think that may still not be an overkill amount of Nightmare. I think we're close to that. By the time the shipment arrives, maybe we'll have just enough. We could buy a nectar if we really wanted to spend almost every last bit of bones that we have. Oh, well, actually, let's sell the tearjerker in that case. I'm going to hold off in case we do want to do any of these things. We have plenty of ambrosia. We can't afford it, but we have 17 in store. I think mostly from prophecies, but wow, that's a lot.
Again?
That we did. Out of curiosity. Now seems not the time. Well, I'm gonna try in that case. I'm curious what she says. Oh, it won't even let me. Never mind.
Can't kill Kronos, can't kill Typhon, so what now? Keep doing this till somebody gives up? Thought we had a better plan.
Honestly, we may have heard this before, and I may have said then what I'm about to say now, but valid critique. And the kind of thing that we should be asking ourselves more often to have those sorts of productive conversations to figure out how we can make it more meaningful when we defeat Kronos and Typhon.
The Titan thinks he took the upper hand by awakening that monster. But we'll turn that setback into our gain. Typhon is immensely powerful, a power we can use.
Okay, that means a little bit.
You really think the Titan would just offer up the key to his own undoing like that? Doesn't sound particularly smart.
The plan was always to exploit what he doesn't know.
I feel like we might have heard some of that, but this line sounds new.
Think he knows a lot more than you.
Because, yeah, that technically does build a little bit more toward the whole, hey, how are we actually going to find a more permanent solution thing? The type of conversation I was expecting
Skill and grace.
to have with Hecate, not Nemesis.
We heard about the Titan's latest misfortune by your hand. Is all else proceeding as intended by your estimation?
Like, this is too vague. This is way too, at least right now, this is way too vague. Huge missed opportunity because the obvious person to speak to make progress toward finding solutions to permanently defeat Typhon and Kronos is Hecate. For that reason, I think it makes sense to be especially critical of the conversations with Hecate to see where are there opportunities that are missed that could have been used to build up more toward the solution. So if we just have sort of hand-wavy, very vague, generic statements like, hey, did you succeed again? Hey, great job, I guess we're closer now, without actually explaining how or why that is the case, or not pushing ourselves to try to find those answers, then those do feel like missed opportunities. So maybe we're gonna go further than this, but if it never dives in any deeper than this, then yeah, I think this is the kind of thing that if one were to start again from scratch, I would be looking more closely at these sorts of conversations to weave in more ways to build the plot.
I think so. We just need to find a suitable weapon now, and then everything that's come to pass can be undone.
It's still a little hard to say since we are starting to say, like, again, here, that is something. Maybe there are enough of these little pieces now that collectively they add up to enough to feel okay about how quickly the main plot is progressing with the conversations.
Perhaps not everything, but plenty. You know the rest by heart, and I'll not pry for further details. But should an unexpected setback come to pass, tell me at once.
But this is horrible. I take back everything that I just said with this paragraph. Wow, that is kind of egregious. You know the best by heart. No, we don't. We don't know how to permanently defeat Kronos. And you making this vague, blanket, cliche statement like that does not help. I'll not pry for further details. That's exactly what we do want. Why are you not prying for further details on such a critical thing? That is just like grossly negligent. What? Should an unexpected setback come to pass, tell me at once. Those are the kinds we are already experiencing setbacks. I mean, we've defeated Kronos in a way, but not permanently. That is a setback. It is a consistent setback, yes, but it is one that we've still not fully resolved. So it feels like you're not really listening to us, or what you're saying is not really reflective of our current experience. So this is just horrible, this paragraph. It kind of just flies in the face of everything that we were just saying maybe the game was starting to improve upon. Maybe this was here before, and for the original true ending, it didn't stand out quite as much because there weren't as many things that were building up toward the conclusion. But now that we have seen more of the other pieces and efforts were made to improve that process, they may have overlooked this, and it stands out like a sore thumb.
I shall.
Wow. So it's still stuff like that. Stuff like that that makes you think, it may, in some cases, in some places, be improved, but there are definitely still some quite noticeable flaws. I think we'll hold back on that stuff for now. Let's see, Odysseus. Still the same message there.
You and Commander Skilanius both were great and famous sailors, isn't that so? Did the two of you ever meet in your mortal days?
I think we have heard this.
Oh, great sailor is an understatement, goddess. They say his exploits rivaled even mine. Alas, that I never once had an opportunity to witness his prowess. Oh, it must have been something.
We're fortunate to have you both.
So we can't gift to you. I didn't see, though. Oh! Yeah, let's do that. Oh, do we need... We do need...
Lots of shades
moment.
around.
We do need to get one of these, and we do have enough to do it.
Trade you.
So that works. Oh, I should
I was
have
thinking of putting these
planted
purifying
stuff
salts
first.
to
Oh well.
use, Headmistress. Call it a cleansing ritual. Would you accompany me?
I mean, as I said before, she has rejected us on at least one occasion in the past, so there's a chance she's going to do that now, in which case it doesn't matter, but we'll see.
A visit to the springs ought to rid us of unwanted thoughts for a while. Let us be cleansed together then.
Perfect.
Would that this were all we had to do. We're like two nettles boiling in a cauldron, aren't we?
I remember bathing in this spring when I was very small. You would ask me never to splash your hair, and I would do it anyway. You were so tolerant of me.
Well, now at least you know the reason that your training was so rigorous. There came a point when even my vast tolerance for all your splashing finally wore thin.
Like, is there some reason why it's particularly bad for her to splash Hecate?
Wait, you trained me to the height of my ability as a witch because I got your hair wet?
Yeah, excuse me? Hold on.
It was either that or transform you into a newt or something. Come off it, Millenoi. You are entirely too serious sometimes.
I mean, she would have gotten better.
A lesson I've been unable to take to heart, Headmistress. I suppose it's been a while since we talked like this.
Do you think that was supposed to be a Monty Python reference? It might have been. From them. Maybe it was just a coincidence.
Yes, well, that's growing up for you. And present circumstances haven't helped either. This blasted hot spring got all covered up with moss and had been stagnant, I don't know how long. Being here again, it takes me back.
Do you think we'll be able to keep the moss from reclaiming this place again?
I'll watch the moss, you watch the splashing. Deal?
Deal.
I think in the grand scheme of things, preventing moss from accumulating over a hot spring should be pretty easy relative to defeating Kronos.
Sometimes I think that hot spring could raise the dead.
I think we can find a way to sort that problem out. I don't think that one requires conversation after conversation of planning. Okay, so now we have progressed our relationship with Hecate. That's good. So yeah, it might have been good if I had replanted stuff here. Oh, because we actually had a lot. Wow.
Into
Oh
the
well.
earth you go.
I mean, as I think I was saying either last time or the time before, we are at the point where we don't really need much / any of this stuff anymore. So it's pretty much just getting grown for the sake of later selling it for prestige, which is not a huge deal.
So you really do wake up each night back there, entirely refreshed, and with a newfound resolve to achieve your life's ambition, that sort of thing.
You make it sound so automatic. My physical recovery may be mostly second nature by now, but my motivation certainly is not. You think I never get discouraged?
I've never seen you discouraged. Though maybe you just hide it well. What do you do if you succeed, eh? Pursue some other hopes and dreams?
I mean, we have defeated Kronos in a temporary way, and Typhon in a temporary way, many times before, of course. But, again, that's another thing that we've mostly been talking about, how to build up toward finding a way to actually permanently defeat Kronos and Typhon. But then there was also the question of what happens when they do get defeated and time itself ceases to exist, maybe. And that would seem like that's such a critical component of the universe that one would want to give that quite a bit of thought before just recklessly making it happen. And, of course, we know in the original True Ending that ultimately that didn't end up happening, and it felt very disappointing in a way, but it at least, in many ways, for me at least personally, but it kind of, for that reason, made it feel less strange that the characters didn't talk about and anticipate that quite as much as they could have. But if that is going to happen in the new True Ending, which I don't really think is going to happen, because that'd be a pretty dramatic change, and I don't know that they can realistically do that with just an update, that'd be a lot of retconning. So, if they are to dramatically change the ending and actually have Kronos be permanently defeated, then, yes, at that point I would say they do need to have more conversations, Malinoi, Hecate, and maybe others as well, about what are the consequences of permanently destroying time, because not only, as we were saying before, is it a matter of those are extreme measures that have never really been taken before for any other god or goddess, and that alone requires significant justification. Removing one of the most critical aspects of reality, even more so, that needs justification. Or at least a plan for how to deal with it afterward.
That's not something I've given any thought.
I get it. First things first.
So there are some things you can take one step at a time, but that is something that should be obvious enough that, hey, if we are to permanently defeat Kronos, time itself may cease to exist. And that's significant enough that that should warrant some thought.
Moonlight guides you.
This takes me back to my days as a sailor. Master Odysseus remembers me, I'm sure. Cause of death? Charybdis. Wait! No. Odysseus chose Scylla, not Charybdis. Unless, I don't know, I might need to brush up on my Odyssey. Maybe that was just Odysseus' plan, and for some reason he also ultimately needed to face Charybdis as well, but I didn't think so. Unless he just casually threw one of his sailors off the side of the boat and was like, here, we'll sacrifice you to Charybdis, even though we're not even going past Charybdis.
Way to stick it to that Kronos guy.
Thank you, Scaly. Oh, the peace sign. Let's go.
So you smacked Kronos a good couple of times now. Remind these shades in me what is to happen next. How are you gonna kill that which continues coming back?
Okay, and I don't know if we've had this conversation before, but this is the same kind of conversation that we want to be hearing more of. It's just strange that we're getting it more from people other than Hecate, people who we would not usually think would be the main drivers of the plot, because these are more optional conversations with people who you technically could more or less completely ignore if you wanted to, and that means you usually, in any sort of story writing and in games, or well, mostly in games, you want to make sure that the key plot points are happening in places, and the progression toward those plot points are happening in places and in ways that are not skippable, so that way, even at a bare minimum, every player is getting all of the critically important stuff, and the more optional encounters, conversations, all that stuff you can have be peripheral to that, maybe referencing some of it, but you want to make sure that that stuff is not strictly necessary to the understanding of and progression of the main plot. Otherwise, people who do, whether intentionally or not, end up skipping some of those encounters and conversations. They'll be lacking some critical information. So, for that reason, it's a little strange that we're getting more of it from the likes of Nemesis and Skelly than we are from Hecate, but If it's everyone, then it's fine. It's just if it's only Skelly and Nemesis and not so much Hecate, or at least Hecate's is falling flat, then that does start to feel very strange.
Commander, though it's tempting to share all my latest progress, we both know I'm never to divulge the details of my task. Not even to you.
And then we get the cop out. Okay.
Not even to me. But can you say at least your brother, is he gonna be alright? Been worrying about the guy is all.
Maybe we've heard that before, because I do vaguely remember Skelly making some reference to our brother in the past. Might have. I don't remember if that was in this timeline or if that was in the original True Ending timeline.
Nice try, sir.
Right, and then, you know, is there just some arbitrary rule that apparently states that we are not allowed to describe our main quest to anyone other than Hecate, despite us having just sort of discussed it with Skelly and having discussed it with Nemesis a little while earlier? Again, feels like the way that it's structured, it feels like more of an excuse for the writers to just not describe things that feel like they ought to be described, rather than a valid thing to exist in-game, in which case you would just say, oh yeah, no, that does make sense. But it doesn't really feel that way.
I see you're getting acclimated to this place.
Okay, that mean face after that does not instill much comfort. But anyways, a successful run, defeating Kronos once again, and the main conversation with Zagreus, I'm already starting to forget at this point. That one was largely, if not entirely the same, right? But it was some of the other conversations with mostly side characters that seemingly that stuff was more significant. It's kind of strange. Or, well, I guess Zagreus' conversation was significant. It was just largely unchanged. The side conversations with more minor characters, those were more significant than the conversation with Hecate. That was the weird part. But we also managed to check off some prophecies, so that's certainly good as well, and we're getting closer to reaching the new true ending. But do need to wrap things up here, so thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.